Today I'm going to be showing you what fidgets are good for like school, what fidgets are good for like bringing on airplanes, and what fidgets you should not bring to school or like go on airplanes with. So a good one for school is like acupuncture rings. They're really good and you can barely notice them and they feel amazing. Another one you can do is a bike chain. They're really easy to use and pretty small. So they're really good for school and they barely make any noise at all. And another good one for school is a Peapopper. It's so fun just watching the little peas pop out of it. And it's pretty quiet and small too. And you can also use them as keychains. And another cool one is monkey noodles. Right now I'm using a small monkey noodle. But they barely make any noise and are super fun to play with. And while listening to any lessons, you can still do your work and they're not incredibly distracting. Another one is emojis. They are super cute, pretty small, and are very squishy and nice, and they don't make any noise at all. You can squish them, you can stretch them, you can like do a lot of things with them. If a teacher saw you playing with emoji, they probably wouldn't take it away because it is really small. They just probably like tell you to make sure that you're not like playing with it like this on the top of your desk because then it might be distracting. But just play with it like under your desk a little bit and she won't take it away. And now moving on to good airplane toys. So most of this fidgets that are good for like school are good for airplanes too, but I would recommend not too small ones. So like this monkey noodle, it's a thin monkey noodle. I'd recommend bringing either a normal monkey noodle or a thick monkey noodle so that they don't get lost as easy. And you can also bring an octopus plushy popit. These are so fun. And these ones aren't as loud as regular Popits, so that if like somebody behind you or beside you is like sleeping on the airplane, you don't wake them up. And it's also really comfortable to just sleep on if you need like a pillow. And you should also bring like maybe a Rubik's Cube. They make a very little bit of noise, but not enough to like wake anyone up. Just don't bring these to school because they're a bit too big and that little bit of noise might distract the teacher a little bit. Oh, and I almost forgot one that you should bring to school. It is a marble and mesh. These are really fun to just move around the marble, and you can also like bend them or like squish them in. It's really fun. You can also bring these on airplanes too because they're big enough to not get lost. And another one you can bring on an airplane is wacky tracks. These are super fun and they are okay. They're cool. They're not too small, but when you like fold them up, they can get smaller. But they're really unlikely to get lost because if you bend them in a type of way, they won't be able to like go through the seat, sort of. So this is a good fidget to bring on airplanes. Just don't bring it to school because it might be a bit too loud for school because it makes like clicking sounds. And another good one for airplanes, and these are okay for school, are infinity cubes. Mine right here is really loud, so I can't bring it to school. I could bring it on an airplane though, but I can't bring it to school because mine is so loud. I did have a quieter one, but I traded it, so can't bring that. But one you shouldn't really bring to school or on an airplane is a poppet. Unless you have a really quiet poppet, then you shouldn't bring one of these. You could bring one to school for like recess, but you shouldn't bring it just to like pop under your desk. This is a jumbo poppet, but you shouldn't bring any of them. Like, I have a quiet poppet, and you want to bring like your smallest ones so that like no one notices them as much, because if it's too big, the teacher will want to take it away from you because it'll get way too distracting. And if you're going to play with one, do not bring a jumbo poppet to school. You gotta make sure that it's quiet and also pretty small to have. And yeah, also don't bring these on airplanes unless you're just bringing it for like to play when you get to like your destination, because these might be a bit loud, but same as school. If you have a quiet one, like this doesn't really matter how big it is. Just don't make it like those 1,000 bubble or 400 bubble or like 200 bubble poppets, because those might be too big. You can do like one like this. This one has 86 bubbles, or like a 36 one, or like a mini poppet. Those ones are good for airplanes. So now we are going to be talking about poppets and fidgets to like trade and some that you might want to keep. So let's start with ones that you might want to trade. So Peapoppers, they're good for school and all, but they're not that good. They can break finely easily if like the little hook on the peas, because like, if you open this, there's like a little hook on the peas. If that falls out, you can't put it back on, and they're usually really hard when you first get them. It takes like a month to get them to be good. So these are something that you might want to trade. Okay, so if I wanted to trade a fidget, let's say I was going to trade my wacky track and my Peapopper. The usual thing that people would probably give you is either like an infinity cube and like a monkey noodle of some sort. But like if you were going to trade something that you didn't like but the other person loved, like, and like what my dream fidget is, like in my personal opinion, is to have one of these. It's not mine, it's my dad's, but I really love them. They're like so cute. I love them. They're adorable. So if you ever get the chance to get one of these, you like need to. They're so cute and adorable. Okay. So if you were ever going to trade like a jumbo poppet or a humongous poppet, like one of those 1,000 bubbles or 400 or like 200, then the thing that you'd probably be expecting to get is like 50 or like 20 poppets. But if people don't have poppets, they will most likely give you like 50 wacky tracks, 20 Peapoppers, like maybe even like 10 Rubik's cubes or something like that. If you're gonna say no to that, which you probably should, they really have to offer like more things, like maybe like a poppet. Someone else would offer like a poppet and maybe this like foam slime and like a squishy and like one of these things that like stick to everything. They like stick to everything, and then like also bring in a wacky track to that. Like they'll have like something like kinetic sand and like this squishy thing, and I have a chicken slingshot. And a DIY stress ball. Like they'd add a lot of things. That's like the offer that you want to get. If you just get like 20 of these for that, that is not a fair trade. And also, if someone says no trade backs, that usually means that one of their fidgets that they're trading you is usually bad. So you've got to like argue with them to make them do trade backs. Because what if like this is like, if this is what like they have, but it has like all these little rips in it that like they've just like taped up and haven't told you, and they didn't let you like touch it or anything. If it has all those rips in it and you don't see that and they say no trade backs, that probably means that it's broken. So a good thing to do is just argue about it with them. Say trade back, say definitely trade backs, or I'm not trading you it, because for this is really big, obviously. So you'd probably be offering something like this, and if they're that kind of person that's trying to scam you, you'd also have to add in like an infinity cube, and like the squishy guy, and like this DIY thing, and this emoji. Yeah, that is not a good trade at all, because you'll be losing all of this if you agreed to no trade backs. What if it breaks in like 5 seconds? Like, my friend, she traded 2 Popits. I only have one with me right now. She traded a unicorn Popit and a Hello Kitty Popit, plus her infinity cube, her DIY stress ball, her wacky track, 2 of her emojis. I have 2. Let me just get this one. And then she also traded like a lot of other things, like her acupuncture ring, like some slimes, and a Rubik's cube, and for this humongous Orby stress ball, which I get, like, it is, like, you just want to squish it, but she was playing with it, she was throwing it up and down in the air, but the thing was, it was a terrible squishy, and her friend said no trade backs. So she just lived with it, and one day she was playing with it, and like it was the same day she did that. She only had it for like 10 minutes, and it just popped. And she was like, I traded so much for that, for it to just pop, and it wasn't even good, because it wasn't even good. Like, I tried it, and it was terrible. Like, you could barely even squish it. Like, this thing, you could squish more, and it has a ball in it, and that really prevents me from squishing it, but you can squish this some more than you could squish that. And, like, what? So, make sure that you can do trade backs. Another thing I want to talk to you about is how to make some DIY fidgets. So, I only have made one DIY fidget, and it's this. It's my little stress ball. Listen. I know it sounds so good. My friend made one with me. And this, all you need is a balloon, obviously. And then you also need, I used some lotion, but you can use like shaving cream or whatever. And then I put in some beads. Me and my friend took some from a 500 pack and actually used up like 400. But yeah, because she put in so many beads. But hers is honestly better than mine. The more beads you put in, the more soothing it is, the more better it is. So I say you should put in more beads, as many beads as you just can. And that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so that you know when new videos come out.